Oh, yeah, son. It is February 12th, 2023. Virtual Strangers 176 is live. I, of course, am your host, Wes. With me, as always, is my good friend, Ruuts. Ruuts, what are we doing, bro? Why aren't we watching football?
I was like, there's a game on today. First off, I want to address, it's what I typed in the chat earlier, and I'll just throw it out there. It's already been decided, 23-17 Eagles. You heard it right here. No reason to watch the game. And other than that, I don't know. My thing is,
didn't you pick it one year, Ruuts?
I'm
did. Pretty sure you picked it one year.
I did last year, and to the exact score by 3 points, remember? But I don't know. Teach their own. I don't know. I'm not that big of a football fan anymore. So much weirdness around it, but I used to be. I can't say that I don't see why people watch it, because I used to be every single Sunday. I had to watch it, and it's been almost 10 years, I think, since I've been wrapped up in that Super Bowl feeling. But I get it.
It's been how long has it been for me? Like 2 weeks? I think it's been 2 weeks. I was pretty into it 2 weeks ago, but this week football sucks and I don't care.
It's not your team. Let's see. Not sure. Brondo the Game Cat says, I love the coast to coast vibe. Very nice. And I don't know, was it that somebody else said that earlier in the chat when I was waiting for you? They said, am I the only one, or is this has a coast to coast vibe? So I'm assuming it's the same person, but appreciate that.
So I'm wondering, Brondo, are you talking about the coast to coast vibe, whereas we go on during a time of day where everyone in the States can watch? Or do you mean by coast to coast vibe, Space Ghost coast to coast? Because I'll take it either way. I actually love Space Ghost coast to coast. It was hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely. And Paradise Decay says, with a $2 or £2 super chat, blatant plug, happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, PD. And happy birthday, Spry Guy.
You gonna let Spry Guy Jack PD's birthday from him?
Yeah, well, he's got to be a part of it all.
Art Bell says, GB, hey, I'll take that over both of the other selections.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, the Art Bell show. I used to listen to that every night, dude, for the entire show. Like 5 hours from like 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. or something like that. I used to record it and listen to it at work.
The thing is as much weirdness as there was in that show, there was actually a lot of very fascinating conversations. Because it's late at night, and that was when people would just come out of the woodworks with all sorts of weird theories and stuff. But what's funny is a lot of stuff that was talked about all those years that seemed crazy, we just experienced in like the last 10. So it's like, oh, wow, it was a little delayed. But yeah, definitely an Art Bell feel for VR.
Man, Art Bell, he'd be having a field day today, right? I bet George Norrie has got plenty to say about these Chinese UFOs that keep showing up over Canada.
You know what's weird is I just saw it, or was watching something, and they said that China said there's something over their country right now as well, and it's obviously not China. So, you know what I mean? Like if they're seeing something over their country, something weird's going on, and I don't know. Sometimes I think Project Bluebeam's coming out of the woodwork as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Maybe it's time for the big alien invasion.
It's coming. I feel it.
Yeah. It's time, right? They've been setting this up for it for a while.
Yeah, it's definitely
anyway, happy birthday, Spry Guy. Happy birthday, PD. Sincerely. Happy for you, bro. Well, after the year that you've had, you deserve to have a happy birthday, bro. So,
absolutely. Chi-Town D says she finished Vertigo Remastered yesterday, and she just started it, I think. Let's see, yesterday was Thursday or Friday. I mean, she killed that game quick. Nice.
I think she thinks she's better than us, Ruuts.
This
man
girl
legitimately thinks that he is better than us.
I don't have this girl. I had to make it. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, man, what a week, what a time, dude. 10 days. 10 days, Roots. They sent emails out today to everyone. There it is. Payment for your pre-order will be processed soon. That means they're going to ship it sooner. That's exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting. Somebody said that they got something that said, I saw it on Twitter, that they got an announcement that said that they're it was going to ship out for them on the 22nd, and they were like not happy. Like it was shipping on the 22nd. Not saying that that's what's happening for most people, but this particular person was kind of basically being told, you're going to wait. You're not getting it on day one.
I haven't seen anywhere that says that. I've seen people say that. I've also seen people say that they're going to send them out on the 20th so that they get here on the 22nd. So I don't know. It will be a big bummer if it's not here on the 22nd because I'm off work that day, and the next day I have to work. So,
well, and we have a show that day, and I'm assuming part of our show will be talking about our first impressions or a little bit about the PlayStation VR too. Kind of hard to do if we don't have it. So,
yeah, that would make it tough. Recently went to Las Vegas, got to play it while I was there, but came back from Las Vegas trying to plan a trip around GDC. The difference between this trip and the last trip, the big difference is that I'm not taking my wife this time.
When is it?
And she, next month, into March.
Oh, okay. You're safe.
And so she's been looking for something else that we can go do together, trying to find a nice trying to find a nice spot, maybe even go back to Vegas. And she sends me a text message last night at work, and she's like, MGM just messaged me, and so we can have a free hotel room in Vegas for like 4 nights at the MGM Grand. Awesome. And the plane tickets are cheap that week too. Great. When are we going? February 20th through the 24th.
And you're like,
I'm like, what? Are you serious? Is this a joke, right? Not a joke, Roots. Not a joke.
Oh, so what what was her reaction when you were like, that's not happening?
Denial for a few minutes, and then realization that, oh yeah. All I said to her was, I've got a package coming, right?
On the 22nd.
She figured it out.
Right in the middle of that 4-day window. That's crazy.
So we worked it out. We're gonna go. We're gonna go probably in April. Luckily, it was a rolling offer with certain dates, so we don't have to go in 2 weeks.
That's cool. Well, no, but who doesn't love a free hotel for 4 days?
Yeah, I know, right? Now she really liked Vegas, as did I. But obviously I was busy most of the time we were there, so we're gonna go back, I think.
Well, that's cool. What are you gonna do without all the people that you hung out with? That was like all the memories.
That will stay in Vegas, sir. Anyway, yeah, super excited, man, that we're finally going to get our hands on this thing. It doesn't seem real. I want the UFOs to stay away for at least 3 weeks, so that I at least get a chance to play Resident Evil Village, Horizon, and a couple of other things.
Imagine something happens so big that it just never happens, or delayed. Oh man!
All shipments from overseas are hereby banned. Could you imagine?
Well, luckily we're still good with China. I mean Japan. If they were coming
right.
from China, we might have to worry on that. But and the fact these are already made, we don't need China's raw earth minerals to make them because they're already made. But we will in the future.
Falcon LX 911 says, I didn't get my shipping email yet. Well, for what it's worth, they didn't all roll out at the same time. Like the thing for Roots came at like 9 a.m. this morning, but mine didn't come until the afternoon, and I placed my order
first
2 days before Roots' order got put in. So I wouldn't read too much into it. Just go to the Sony website, check your details, make sure your order's active, make sure your shipping address is correct, make sure you've got the correct credit card on there, and then check your credit card balance and make sure you've got the money on there to cover it. And you should be good. I wouldn't be concerned about it at all.
Yeah. What I would be concerned about is Laki Sangera says not liking the Last of Us TV show. It's the first time. Usually, most people say they actually like it. I have not seen it. I haven't played the game, so I don't feel. Even if I played the game, I'm not running out to watch it. So
Yeah, I talked about. We talked a little bit about this on the most recent Crewcast. Like, I'm really digging the show. I didn't dig the third episode so much because literally they just had a side story, which was like a love story that didn't move the story forward at all. And it was a beautiful story, but I mean, it was kind of pointless. It had nothing to do with moving forward the story of Joel and Ellie. So
didn't you say it showed
uh,
them how they got the battery though? Right? Was it the battery?
yeah, it was basically a love story between two gentlemen that found themselves in the apocalypse, and it showed basically how they met each other, how they spent years together, and then how they died together. And then at the end of the show, spoiler alert, Joel shows up, and because he's a friend of theirs, and finds out that they're dead, and then gets a battery in a truck and leaves. That's the end of the episode.
Yeah. Well, tell you what. At least you said it was a beautiful story. So
It was. Well, I mean, there were some really touching moments in it. But we're not here to talk about all that. We're here to talk about
oh,
VR.
that's right.
But before we do that, though, where are our manners? We need to say hello to our friends in chat. Vince is here. Says The Last of Us show is great in my opinion, but if I hadn't played the game, it would hit me harder for sure. Exactly. You know, my daughter. This is my daughter. She never played The Last of Us before. We watched the first 2 episodes, and she's like, "I need to play the game." So I get the game from GameStop, the remaster, not GameStop, from GameFly, rented it, and she played through this thing in like 3 days, like just banged right through it, and now she knows the whole story, and it's all spoiled.
The whole movie, the TV show spoiled. I don't know. I keep questioning whether I should play it. I've owned it. It's over there. I got the remaster. I should just play it and stream it or something.
Technoglitch says gay. Was it? I didn't notice.
I didn't watch it, so I don't care, to be honest. My thing is just like, I don't know, man. It just doesn't matter to me what people are doing. I'm gonna do me and let everybody else do themselves. I'm happy.
You know who loves to do themselves, Ruuts?
My mom.
Oh yeah, she does.
What's up, Guido? What's up? All you are is history. I can only remember a couple moments from The Last of Us. It's been that long since I played it. Yeah, she did. My daughter didn't want to let the show spoil the game for her, so she's just like, "Give me that thing."
You've been telling me, and I'm sure you've told her too. It's like one of the best games that you've played through, right? So like, you don't want to have that ruined. Yeah.
Exactly. What's up, Dark Angel? What's up, Lucky Sangera? Are you getting Pavlov day one? I'm hoping to get it before day one, but we'll see. What's up, Brad? Brad's in the chat. Brad, never mind. Happy to see you, Brad. Glad you're here. Traveler Man is in the house. What's up? Old Darth is here. Scott Jesco, PSN Harry Fellow, the PSVR Game Cat for Life, says that The Last of Us is great. Rich Hellstrip is here. Mepper is here. Je ne sais quoi is here. Traveling Man, what up? Who's here? Tatum's here, of course. Good to see you, Tatum. Onakazi. All right, so UFC Ash. I don't know how I'm supposed to say that. I'll just call you Ash. From the little I've seen, they changed the characters and story a fair bit. Most of the game would be boring to watch. However, parts they did change didn't need changing. Well, that's Struckman for you. Of course, they're going to take some liberties with it. I mean, if they did it exactly like the game was done,
the game. Yeah.
just go watch a playthrough on YouTube. I mean, there's great voice acting. It's a beautiful game. Who needs to watch it on HBO at that point?
Yeah, absolutely.
GB said I teared up. I did too, a couple times, man. Lucky Sangria agrees that it was pointless. It was really bad. PD says, do you know who else likes it when they get a fresh battery?
My mom!
She likes it when she gets a fresh everything. Who doesn't love a
What's
freshie?
up? What's up, Vince? What's up, Wolvie? What's up, Scion? Hello, friends. MacManus 1. I just got my shipping info 20 minutes ago. So that's a great example there why you shouldn't be concerned if you didn't get it yet, because literally it was almost 12 hours ago when the first one I heard of came through.
And everybody was just saying last week that the pre-orders were not as much as they thought. They opened them up to everybody. Like, no, I don't know why anybody's, and outside of the outside weird thing of maybe something weird happening to your particular order and it getting delayed or something. I don't think there's going to be an issue people getting their emails or their orders on time, unless there's some kind of weird catastrophe thing that happens in 10 days.
right. All yours history. What is up, friend? Good to see you. Scroll. Distracted. What's up? Good to see you. We already said hello to D, but what's up, D? Vargosoft is here. Says take my money already. I know, right? Fourth Wall Breaker joining us today. Chatty. I'm glad to see you here, Chatty, instead of going to the grocery store. I think you made the right decision. Cupra AL is here. Good evening. Good to see you. Brandon here. What's up, Ryan Brandon? Sim joining us. Not sure Brondo Gamecat. I think we already said hello to, but hello again. Looper's here. Says hi, Wes, the head clicker. Yeah. Hi. Good to see you. Radio Runt is joining us from Idaho.
He just went to the grocery store. He's set.
Xavier, what's up? Techno Glitch, Hawk 107. Hello. Four Wheeling. Hello again. My wife and I had our first date 33 Super Bowl Sundays ago.
Wow.
Dude, that's a long time.
Is that a covert Illuminati shout out? 33 years ago. Wink.
Four Wheeling's in the club, Roots.
Never would have guessed it.
Dude, we've already said so many so many of the trigger words. We're gonna get our stream's gonna go down any moment now.
That's right. All of a sudden, and oh, sorry, I don't know what happened. Demonetized.
Right, we're gonna get community. What do they call it? The community violation or whatever.
Yep.
Community guidelines. Community guidelines violation. And when we ask what, they're going to be like, confirmed, you did
it. Either that or they won't answer. Eric is in the chat, says, yo to the yo. What's up, everybody? Mash Daddy. Cool.
What's up, Masher? Burger Cat is here. I like Hotel California too. Mind Jive is here as well. Xavier is here. He says, have a good stream. Thank you, sir. Daniel Kaz. Should we be watching a Pentagon briefing? They don't do those anymore, bro. Not real ones anyway. Who else? Anybody else? Midlife Kid, what up? Guido, did we say hello to Guido? Hi, Guido. Solid Justice says, nice intro. Isn't it, though? Although I do think it's high time that I switch the games up. We've had this intro running for a year or so now, and I think it's time for a new version.
Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing, dude? It's not like that took you, like, how many hours to make the other one? Like, I can see why you're using it as long as you can. It's a lot of work.
I need to capture some PSVR 2 footage. That's why I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to do all PSVR 2 games in the next one.
Oh, all good quality AAA.
Because that's all that matters.
Yeah.
PSVR 2 is all that matters.
Right. Did you announce yet that we're switching to only PSVR? No, just kidding. How weird would that be?
Changing the name of our channel to PSVR 2 on parole.
On parole.
No, what's up? Calm down, people. I'm trying to trigger you. Calm down. PSVR 2 doesn't have any games. No, everybody knows that. Who else? Anybody else? Decepticon's here. Oh, yeah. What up, Decepticon? Mind Job, I think we might have said hello to, but hello again. Mickey Barrios, what's up, Mickey? I think we're going to have to give Mickey's keys back to him. He did such a bang-up job giving away keys over the last couple of weeks in the Discord. Way better than we are at it. So maybe we should just let Mickey hand out the rest of the ones.
That was awesome too, man. Everybody loved it. It's games for everybody.
Bad Robo is in the chat. Bad Robo, tell me why I need to... Tell us all why we need to get our PSVR headsets out and play Machine Head VR on Dreams. I saw your tweet. It looks cool. Tell us a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
There's a lot of people talking about Dreams coming to PlayStation VR 2. Is that confirmed? Is that a rumor?
It's a rumor. It's a rumor that there's going to be a new Dreams for PSVR 2.
It would make sense. I mean, they haven't really...
Not just an up-res, but like a new version of it.
They haven't really been able to... That was their vision to begin with, right? Like, it was... Like, they did a lot, but they... Like, with the new hardware, I think they could do so much more.
Scion says, show was super short today because of the Super Bowl. I guess she's talking about another show. Not this one. We don't do short shows here, bro.
We can't. We try, and then it ends
size
up
matters.
Yeah. Size is everything.
Visor Republic is here. Kaiksa de Pixels is here. Good to see you. New friends, Roots. I don't think I've seen these people here before. Welcome. And with that said, my chat has run out. So if I missed you, my apologies. Welcome, one and all. Glad you all were able to join us. Odin's here. Odin the Odious says, "Go Eagles."
Yeah, 23-17. I told you.
12, the Backlog Game Cat said, "Burn my OG, the OG, but I'm ready for version 2. Yeah, I hear you. GB says, "Is Machine Head out yet?" Machine Head is out. It is in fact out. Yeah. Dan Kitty's here. What's up, Dan Kitty? I'm scrolling a second time now just to see who slipped in on the bottom while I was on the top. You know who loves it when you check the bottom while someone else is on top?
She couldn't even wait. She likes it when you slip it in as well.
My mom.
Visor Republic says they've seen the show a few times. Well, we appreciate you being here.
Good. Yeah, thank you. Who else is here? 12, the Backlog Game Cat. I saw a couple other ones that we haven't said hello to, and then I lost it. There's Dan Kitty. There's Eric. There's Mark Smith. What up, Mark Smith? Geison's here. Of course, Geison's here. Good to see you, Geison. Flame Hat, the Game Cat is here. Colossal is here. Hussein X is here. Thomas McNostril is here. Roots, we got a
full
I think
house.
It's a party.
Yeah, it's a Super Bowl party. We're all celebrating it together by not watching it. Wolfraza says, okay, so the biggest thing, what he's saying, buttoning down to one headset has never been even a thought for me. We'll get a PSVR 2 when I can afford it, but really wish people would temper expectations for it. And I think he's right. Like with the way that everybody sets themselves up, their expectations, like I'm hearing the savior of VR being thrown around, and I just feel like people just need to simmer down. It's going to be amazing, but it's not going to be any more amazing to me than the Quest 2 was amazing when it came out and was fresh and new. And this will be my new shiny toy for a while, and then it'll become old hat after a while, but it's going to be amazing. But I don't know.
The same thing happens every time when we get something new and everybody gets excited for it. and it gets worse over time, and we'll talk more about this in just a second. But you know, the people who start talking about it typically make some fairly good points and take some fairly reasonable stances with that. But then there are other people kind of on the fringes of that take each stance and kind of push it out to the extreme until the point that they become opposing views. And then we get this for a little while. It's one of the things sometimes I think it's funny. Sometimes I find it very endearing. Sometimes it's downright annoying. And I think in some cases we might be getting to the latter stages of that, which is why we're going to stoke those flames thoroughly here in just a moment. But before we do that, Bad Robo says that Machine Head is a complete game, 7 levels, several types of enemies, 5 weapons, and upgrades. Wow. Yeah, that's why I'm asking about it. My only thing was, all right, I'm going to get my PSVR 1 out again and hook it up. It's literally not hooked up anymore. Why should I do that? And I didn't want to do that for a typical Dreams experience, which is about an hour long at best. And apparently that's not the case here. This is going to be one that has some meat on the bones. That's all I needed to know, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, Roots, why don't we give these people what they showed up for? What's up, Ferdinand? Good to see you. Why don't we give these people what they showed up for, and let's get this show on the road. PlayStation VR 2 beats a high-end PC with an RTX 3090 Ti. Well, there it is.
Show's over.
That's it. It's over.
We not talk about anything else, right?
There's your proof, ladies and gentlemen. Console is better than PC.
Yep.
We'll see you next week. Bye. Now, this is an article from mixnews.com. PlayStation VR 2 is the pinnacle of VR, says one VR developer. The gaming performance exceeds that of a high-end PC. The tactical military shooter Pavlov is considered the VR equivalent of Counter-Strike. No, it's not. And is one of more than 30 launch titles for PSVR 2. The VR game was originally developed for PC VR systems and appeared on Steam in 2017, where it enjoys a great popularity and benefits from an active modding scene. Meanwhile, there's also a graphically slimmed down version for the MetaQuest 2 called Pavlov Shack. I'll point out when they told us a year or two ago that Pavlov would be coming to PlayStation VR 2, they told us at that time that it would be Pavlov Shack, the Quest version. Apparently, the developer changed his mind once he got his hands on this greasy fast PlayStation 5. The PSVR 2 version will be released on February 22nd and will offer crossplay with the PC version. That's awesome. There's crossplay. Crossplay with the Quest version won't be available at launch, but could be added later. In a Discord chat, studio CEO David Villarreal commented on Sony's VR hardware, calling it the pinnacle of virtual reality, especially for shooters. Thanks to adaptive triggers, he said, Each gun trigger offers different resistance, and each gun offers different recoil. According to Villarreal, the latest version of the VR game runs probably 10% better on PS5 and PSVR 2 than it does on his own PC system with a top-of-the-line NVIDIA GeForce 3090 Ti. I've said that twice now, Roots, and I can just feel people in the chat going, but a 4090 Ti is the top of the line.
Yeah,
We know.
actually, somebody said that in the chat. They said, I guess I need to get a 4090 then.
I know.
So I'll tell you what, my 3080 Ti is a freaking beast. So a 3090 Ti, and I'll tell you what, at least in the initial, I can't say down the road 2, 3, 4 years, however long, as it ages and it doesn't get upgraded. But most people, and I was saying this to somebody in the Discord earlier yesterday about the VR mods, everybody focuses on video card. This PlayStation 5 also has a top of the line processor as well that's matched with it. And so, like, because most people, they may have a 3090 Ti or a 4090, but they're running an 8700K, or something, and it's just not going to run as well as this thing's going to run. So
Plus, Roots, they don't have the Tempest 3D audio.
that's true. They don't have, and they're not using foveated rendering or eye tracking. All those things are going to make things
clearly better.
So
clearly
much
better in every way.
Yeah.
So many hot takes that since I saw this story drop last week on both sides. Obviously you have the console, the downtrodden console community that took this as absolute proof of everything that they've always known is true, and trumpeting it from the rooftops. We got the best thing for about a year. We've got the best thing. And on the other side, the PC people are just, it reminds me of, remember when PS5 came out and we learned that the PS5 had custom memory throughput architecture in the device, and it's able to load the video memory directly, which cuts out latency. It was the fastest. It was like the fastest SSD, the fastest memory throughput. And due to its custom configuration, that really we weren't going to see anything on PC like that for years. I remember the PC people were just in such denial when that came out and just could not believe it, that this one thing, again, it wasn't, everyone knows that the graphics processor in the PS5 is roughly equivalent to a 2080. They had every box checked off in favor of PC, but they just could not handle that there was one thing that PS5 could do that their thing couldn't do, and that there was no way for them to go spin their way out of that hole. This kind of reminds me of that, man. Like, basically, headlines aside, and by the way, I picked this article on purpose just because of the way the headline reads, because I knew that would trigger people too. Headlines aside, if you look at what Dave actually said, he basically was just saying something that we already knew, something that we've been talking about for years, and that is that consoles are optimized for gaming, and
Right.
PCs do everything else. And
you probably were doing a bunch, unless you were West, you were doing and still are doing a bunch of stuff in the background. You have 20 windows open and a bunch of other shit. You know what I mean? So other programs running, taking all sorts of resources.
You remember we did an episode once, Roots. Remember where we were talking about what will define the next generation? This was a year or two ago. We were talking about features that are going to set the next gen apart from the last gen. And the main thing we focused on was advancements in optimization, be it, optimizations with the PlayStation 5 or optimization in the game engines like Unreal Engine 5. We said that the optimization would define the next gen because of what is going to become possible, not only on consoles, but on standalones as well. And I just think that this is kind of the first real thing that we have to point to in a VR context of saying, "See, this is what we were talking about." But it's no surprise. It was the same thing could have been said about the PS4. The PS4 specs were just dog shit. But at the same time, it was running high quality VR games. Uh, on specs that if you had the same thing in a PC, you wouldn't even be able to load Oculus Home. That just goes to show that this has kind of always been the case, that you get a lot of more juice for the squeeze with console. And, it's still early on in the PS5 life cycle. It should still be outperforming relatively higher spec PCs in terms of, rendering capabilities.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like I said, with all the optimization of the eye tracking and the foveated rendering, I'm sure that makes a big difference. But Onikaze makes a good point. I mean, really, there's not, that statement is very up in the air. What's he comparing it to? What, 10% faster than what? What was the speed to begin with? But I mean, it's faster is faster, and PlayStation VR2 is better than PCVR.
He just said he had about 10% more overhead system resources. So basically, he's got an equivalent game, assuming he's got an equivalent experience, like a 1-to-1 with what PC players have, right? Same game on both, aside from the haptics and all that stuff, which PC people just don't have that. You just don't get the haptics and the adaptive triggers. Sorry. I'm doing it again, Roots. Basically what he's saying in terms of the game itself, 1-to-1 experience, but whereas his 3090 might be maxed out on certain things, he's still got a little overhead on the PlayStation due to optimization. That's all he was saying. Not an unreasonable statement, I don't think.
Yeah, no, it's factually true apparently, right? So,
and I want to point out too, for the the kind of toxic people on the other side, the console side, the people that are just completely trumpeting this from the mountaintops. Yes, you probably have an advantage in a few situations right now. PCs are modular, and people spend a lot of money on them. Give it 2 weeks, give it a month. Let's see how they stack up then, because people are just going to throw away their garbage 3090s now and go get 4090s.
Yeah. I just took my 3080 Ti out and threw it in the trash. I got to get a 4090. It's no good anymore.
People pointing out all the advantages of the console VR, HDR screen. You can get it for $550. That's another big point too, right? We're talking about a $400 to $500 console versus what would probably be a $2,500 computer with a 3090 in it. That couple $1,000s does make a difference.
Yeah, that's true. And like Scion, it pointed out earlier, and Technoglitch also pointed it out right now, you don't get the mods either. And I'm not even talking the Pavlov mods or whatever game it is, which I'm sure Pavlov will have its own community. I mean, if they've got mods on Shack, Pavlov Shack, I'm sure the PSVR 2 will eventually get mods on their community, in their community the same way, maybe. I don't know. But I'm talking about mods for PCVR of games that just came out, and like it's there's a reason. There's a reason to have both sides, So
Old Dar says, don't forget the headset haptics, and Looper says, and you get a vent hole.
Oh, that's true. Who doesn't want a vent hole? You know what I mean?
Technoglitch says all mods done. Good point. That's a very good point.
Distract says the PC is so expensive, it's never ending. That's why I went console route. Everything is outdated in 6 months. And that's not, I mean, I see your point, but that's not absolutely true. It depends on where you go. Like when I upgrade, that's why I try to upgrade as far as I can. And then that way I don't have to upgrade for several years. If I get,
I get the sentiment though, because it's an addictive thing, updating your computer. If you're like me, you go to get a new SSD and that just starts you down that path. Well, I mean, while we're ordering, why don't we get some new RAM? I mean, we could use a little more RAM in there. You know what? I really could use a new a new chip. Yeah.
Oh wait, you need a motherboard for that.
That's right. That's right. Well, I mean, if we're gonna get a motherboard, we're gonna have room for.
Might as well get a new case.
Power supply. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we got the extra power overhead now, then why aren't we just going to get a new graphics card? I mean,
how I've been down that road, and there is a point to it. You know, and that's why it's funny when people say, "Man, it's $550 for the headset is ridiculous," and I'm like, "Really?" Because like people told me 1,000 for the Index was a steal, and this headset is 10 times the headset the Index was, and it's got all sorts of new technology that the Index doesn't have. So 550 for a headset is actually really reasonable, and the console should never even be included. Now, if you're comparing it to Quest, then you could make that comparison. You know, the 1,200 or whatever it ends up being, 1,150 for the PlayStation VR 2 and the PlayStation 5 versus the Quest for 500 for a you know, the model you should be getting, not, you know what I mean, the biggest model you can get. But you're also not, it's not even close in the, it'd be like saying I'm going to get $100 1080p TV versus $1,000 or $2,000 HDR 4K. It's apples and oranges. The Quest 2 does play VR, but the games are nowhere near what's going to be happening on this console, you know?
So that's the thing. And I think our enthusiasm for what PSVR 2 is bringing gets kind of misunderstood sometimes, because people on the PC side of things, they're always so hardware centric. They're thinking about the hardware, they're thinking about the specs. So when we start touting some of the features of PSVR 2 and PlayStation 5, it kind of gets lost while we're actually excited for this. It really isn't about the specs. It isn't about the features, as cool as they are. It's about the games. It's about the fact that high-end PCVR gaming died with Lone Echo 2. There hasn't been another big release since then, and we haven't had any announcements of anything coming down the road. And Quest is great. It's done amazing things for VR, and there's some really good games on it. But it's not the same. The good games on the Quest just aren't the same, with a few exceptions, as having a good high-end game to play, high-end big budget game. And that's why we're so excited about PSVR. It's for no other reason really than we know we're going to get big budget, great quality AAA games again. And I miss them, Roots.
Yeah, I miss them as well. And I'm really hoping that the industry, just from what Hogwarts Legacy has done in the last, coming out and being as big as it is and having a mod the day that it drops, like they need to, there's no reason these high budget games can't be put into VR in the same way and just released with a VR mod that would take them almost no time to make and no money really to invest as a side dish. You know what I mean? Just put me in there with the same schematics, same controls, piss off all the purists that want hand control or whatever, full motion controls, and just give us the option to let people see that VR is feasible and these games can and should be played in VR, and let us transition into it, because we're like the chicken and the egg. We can't get the AAA games because we can't get the funding, but we can't get the funding because I don't know, man. It's just so frustrating to me, because to me it's so clear what needs to happen, and it really seems like it is easier than is being made out to be. So
Brad sums it up nicely. He says it'll be nice to get away from the metaverse and get VR back into gaming for a little while.
Yeah, isn't that what it's all about? The games? Like when I play a video game, I want to have fun. I don't want to get in there and have an experience of I don't know, man. I want a true AAA gaming experience, like you said. The budgets that are thrown at those games, that's why those mods that we've been playing are so good, because the games are so deep, because the money was spent on them to be deep. So,
all right, a couple of comments I want to get to here. First of all, Thomas McNostril says, "What about the price of the games though? PC, although sales just a month or two down the line, versus PSVR." Contrary to popular opinions, games go on sale after a few months on PSVR as well. It's not just on PC. And again, I would like to point out that what games? What are we talking about? We're talking about the indie games that are going to be on both systems, sure. But I will point out that you put your money down at the door when you walked into PCVR. Like, you've already spent your money. That they should give you cheap games for that. But it's a good point. Steam sales are awesome. You can pick up a bunch of old indie games for pennies on the dollar. So that's a good point. Also, Mepper asks, didn't Sony say most new PS5 games would have to be hybrid VR games? When does that kick in? They didn't say that most were going to be. This was something actually that our friend Brian on Without Parole leaked from the August 2021 developer summit, that there was going to be a focus in the next gen and bringing these hybrid games along, games that are developed for both VR and flat at the same time. Where are those games? Gran Turismo 7 is one of those games.
Resident Evil 8 is another
Resident
one.
Evil 8 is one of those games. Yeah, two out of the three big launch titles fit the description, and I'm sure there will be many more to come. Sony's just been quiet over the last year regarding what they've got planned for the future, and I don't just mean with PSVR 2, but in general, they haven't shown their cards about what they're going to do. A lot of speculation behind that said that the reason that they didn't have a PS5 showcase late last year, and the reason why they keep pushing back the PSVR 2 showcase, has something to do with this whole antitrust thing that they've got going on versus Microsoft. And somehow, like if they show that they're fine without Call of Duty, then somehow that weakens their case. The whole thing's about to come to a head. It's about to be over with. And subsequently, we're hearing rumors now of a new showcase coming up before summertime.
Wow, cool. Maybe we'll hear about Returnal VR. That'd be amazing.
That would be great. That would be great. Wouldn't be the first time we heard about that. Hopefully, we'll hear more about it soon.
Yeah.
The point is, everyone should be excited. Everybody should. Can't we all just get along? Like, PCVR is awesome. PSVR 2 is going to be even better. And
dude, the haptics, man, adaptive trigger.
Yeah. For $550, come on, son. Come on.
That's a good deal.
And I know it has a cable, and I know it has Fresnel lenses. That people like to point that out a lot, just like every other freaking headset up until this point. But yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. And anyway, as I was saying, PC gamers should be happy about this. They should be happy because PlayStation console VR is going to raise the bar with regards to the quality of the games. And now PC has PlayStation ports to look forward to, as opposed to the Quest ports that they've been getting for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So everyone should be excited. Rising tides raise all ships, Roots.
Yeah.
And the tides are certainly rising right now.
Yeah, it's going to be, everything shifts and changes, right? So I just suggest if you can't beat them, join them. Just pick it up. Just get a PlayStation VR 2. If you don't have a PS5, pick that up too. And yeah.
And then Mepper says, and then the Deckard will beat them all.
Yeah.
Right.
We're waiting.
Right.
I'm waiting for the Deckard. I would love to hear that it's announced.
You know who else is waiting for the Deckard?
My mom!
I think she is too, but
Always waiting for that Deckard. She loves it. Spaced Innocent, I am hyped for PlayStation and PCVR. Both got great things happening. Now, I'll agree with that. Someone put forth the notion that maybe right around the time PSVR 2 launches, that the Unreal Universal VR Injector will launch as well. And at that point, I'm going to be homeless because I'm going to have to quit my job.
yeah, well, there's so many games out there, and if they're as good as, like, I don't know, that the Luke Ross Hogwarts Legacy mod opened my eyes to, just because it was on day one or day two, I guess, of the thing. And how good is this Unreal Engine going to be? They're taking their time, fine tuning everything. So
yeah, they're taking their time, and others are taking advantage of that, huh?
Yeah,
We'll talk more on that later. Colossal says, did I hear Returnal VR? Sorry. Yeah, That's the rumor that I've heard it in a couple of different places now. That people have played this mythical Returnal VR demo a long time ago, actually, at this point. So hopefully those rumors are proven to be true over the next year.
Well, you realize if that rumor is true, which I think it is, I hate to burst people's bubble. It will be third person and it will be the same controls. That's just the way it's going to be.
Likely.
Likely. That's very likely. I would be shocked if it's not.
Someone says, "What's your take on lo-fi?" Man, he keeps adding to it. Typically I'm not a fan of these sandbox style games, but first of all, it's so beautiful, and he's adding so much stuff to do into it. Like, even though it's not going to have like a 10-hour story campaign to it, there's going to be a lot of story content and a lot of different things that you can do. So yeah, I'm excited to see how it comes out. You know what makes me more excited about anything about that, Roots, is that he's going to take the time that it takes to make it special, right? We won't have it, and by we I mean like in full release on PlayStation and across all the platforms. It won't release until it's really something exceptional.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's already taken this long. He might as well just keep doing what he's doing. Make it amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Ruthless Metal says, "I'm so hyped." I am too, bro. I am too. It's only 10 days, Roots. 10 days. That's going to fly by.
That is going to fly by.
Anyway, that's our therapy session. Everyone, we got through it. Everybody shake hands and hug. We all love VR. We're all one community. Even though we have our own cliques, we're still all one community, and we all we need to all love each other at the end of the day.
Yep, absolutely.
Anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about some games. Among Us VR new Polis map coming soon. PSVR 2 release won't be launch day. Eat it, PSVR 2 people.
Yeah, you guys suck, bro. No, just kidding. We're like, wow, we switched so quick, man. Just flip it. You don't suck.
Among Us VR is teasing a new map coming soon based off the Polis map from the flat screen original. Shell Games also confirmed that Among Us will be a launch day title for PSVR 2. In a new teaser trailer, Shell Games gave a first quick look at the new Polis map currently in development. Shell says the map is in sight for a 2023 release and is opening up the name to community voting. Anyone can vote via a Google form, which is linked on this Upload VR article, which gives us a choice between Polis Mines, Polis Frontier, and Polis Point. Shell is also working on patch 4 for Among Us VR, which will include lobby customization features that let players fine-tune the specifics of their matches. Some of the options include enabling, disabling tasks, hands and voice chat, changing the number of imposters, emergency meetings and long tasks, and altering the kill cooldown length. That's just the tip of the iceberg, though. Shell says there should be more than 9 billion customization configurations in total, which you can use to create your own special and tailored modes of play. Shell Games also confirmed that Among Us VR will not be a launch day title for PSVR 2. When Shell Games previously confirmed the PSVR 2 version, it said that it would be available, quote, when the headset is released. Upload VR reached out to Shell Games to confirm more details on the release window for PSVR 2, and we will update this post if we receive a response. All right, Roots, we had a lot of fun in Among Us VR when it launched, and we kind of said it then, and it proved out to be true. Even though it was great fun with good friends, it's going to need more content. It's going to need more maps, or it's going to get old pretty quick. And for me, at least, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just too stressful for me, man. There's too much dishonesty and trickery and you know, the same thing that makes it amazing is partially what I don't like, which is you're watching your friends deceive each other and be deceived, and it's like it's a weird conundrum because I like honesty. It is a game, but yeah, I definitely think that it's good that they're adding this content because it needed it.
So you played the flat version of Among Us before the VR version came out. Are you familiar with this Polis map that they're talking about?
I don't know. I mean, there was when I played it that I know there was more than one map. So for all I know, this could be something that's been out before. I didn't play it too much. I just watched a streamer that used to stream it, and so I'd play with that community and stuff.
You know who loves the Polis?
My mom!
Oh yeah, I got a Polis here in Denver. That's our governor, Governor Polis.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Anyway, let me ask you, Roots. You know, obviously we're stoked to get new content for this already fun game. Why do you think it takes so long, man? Like, this is pretty. I mean, don't get me wrong, everything's flawless, and I'm sure there's a lot of work that goes into making it that way. Shell Games has the highest standards with regards to quality. Um, I mean, they're giving us a 2023 window on this new map. Is it really going to take that long? Like, we should have this fairly soon. Like, why isn't this launching on PSVR 2? They said it's not. Like, it can't be that difficult in the grand scheme of things. It's a pretty simple game in terms of what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think. I mean, I don't know what it all goes into making everything run right and trying to get cross-platform hopefully going. So some people are asking about. I don't know why you wouldn't want it on launch day for PSVR 2, but yeah, you would think it'd be a lot quicker for sure.
On one hand, we're quick to be critical about stuff like this taking a little while. A fairly simple game taking a long time in development, but at the same time, it's not like Shell Games is massive, and this is a $10 game. Like, it's not like it's not their flagship, right? This is pretty scaled back, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Shell just like they're not the studio that's primarily working on this, right? They're mainly a publisher.
I believe so. I think they're just publishing it. So who knows what else is going on in the actual people putting the game together, right? So.
Spaced Innocent says some people have been saying that it's a PSVR 2 launch game. It's not. No, it is not. That has been confirmed.
By Harry Baker on February 7th.
There you go. Harry Baker. You know who has a really Harry Baker?
My mom!
Oh, man. I didn't know that. That's definitely something new. I just found out.
What do you think about these gameplay customizations, Rich? You're able to have more or less imposters. You're able to adjust the cooldown time on the myrtles, and you're able to tweak kind of what you do with the tasks. Do you think that might? I mean, we'll probably see that before we even see the new map. Do you think that might put a fresh coat of paint on this thing?
I think so. Those are things that were in VR chat version that you could do. And I don't know about the actual flat game. The options are always good. And those options are definitely good because some tasks suck. Some tasks you don't want. Maybe you can put other ones in. Voice chat. As good as the voice chat is, technically the game is not supposed to have voice chat only in the discussion. It's supposed to be out. You're supposed to be wandering around quiet. It adds more weirdness to it. Nobody knows what's going on. You can't discuss stuff in between. The only discussion is going on when the discussion's going on. And so I think having the option to disable the chat or the voice chat would be good. So that you can only talk when you're in the discussion room.
Right. What is this VR chat you speak of? Is that a game?
Yeah, it's a VR. I don't know. I'll tell you what. The only time that I really had fun was in stuff like that, Among Us VR or whatever, the VR chat. There's some things that they did. I believe the Among Us VR might exist because of VR chat. Because they saw that, hey, this is a thing and it's very popular and people want it, so let's bring it into VR. And so I think that that's the role that that sometimes VR chat can provide outside of all the dancing and tracked elbows and tracked kneecaps and all that stuff.
This VR chat game sounds pretty fun. I can't wait to play it on PlayStation VR 2.
Oh yeah, I bet that's. Oh wait, is that even coming on PlayStation VR 2?
Odin the Odious, I pre-ordered the HP Reverb G2 and waited 5 months for it, so I refused to pre-order PSVR 2 early. It's torture. Yeah, I feel you, man. I pre-ordered the Reverb G2 as well. I don't remember exactly how long I had to wait on it, but it
It's
was
a long
weird,
time.
dude. Like everything came within the same week. Like in 1 week, I got a 3080. I got my Reverb G2, and then I got my PlayStation 5 all at the same time.
Wow, you must have felt rich for a minute there. You tell people,
Yeah.
some of the FedEx guy or whoever's dropping off, it's like, man, this guy, dude, he just keeps getting all these bangers.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but there was a period there leading up to that where like my computer didn't have a graphics card in it. I didn't have anything to play at all except for like PSVR 1 because I sold everything so that I could upgrade everything.
Yeah. Well, you did it smart, and you got top dollar for your Quest 2, one, right? Wasn't it? So
Yeah, I did pretty well at the time. So I sold everything, bro. Sold my capture card, all of it.
I think sadly it's Bradley actually enjoys VR chat. He says, "Fight me." So
I want to put Bradley in the cage fight versus Skiva, and we could see which VR social app wins the day.
oh yeah, I still need to
The
go into
old-
Neos. I still have yet to check out what the Neos is.
Yeah, what the Neos? That's a new Quest game.
Yeah, I think it is. I heard somebody saying Skiva took him on. I think it was Virtual Steve took him on a tour of Neos. Skiva's never done that for me. That was Skiva.
Yeah, I'm starting to get my
Come on.
feelings hurt. It
Yeah.
seems like every month, every week, someone else has had the Neos tour from Skiva.
Yeah,
and we're still waiting.
yeah. You even met Skiva in person. You would have thought
That's
that
right.
would have been the solidification.
And guess what we
right there.
talked about? Guess what we talked about?
Neos?
Neos.
Was it
Yeah.
really?
Well, no, it wasn't just Skiva. I say that in jest, but there was a lot of people in Vegas talking about how awesome Neos was. It wasn't just Skiva.
Yeah, people. I know. Doesn't Creeper Betty says really good things about it as well, right?
That's a good point. Bradley says he'll step on me and I'll die. Yeah, I think that's a safe bet. Anyway, let's move along. We joke a lot and we say a lot of things about Quest Gaming, but they have some stuff to look forward to as well. MetaQuest 2 Assassin's Creed VR is almost done. This again from mixednews.com. There are new rumors about Assassin's Creed Nexus, which is supposed to be released in September. The release could be timed with the launch of Quest 3. This is reported by the well-informed game journalist Tom Henderson for the website Insider Gaming. Henderson had leaked the first details about the upcoming VR game last April. According to the journalist, the VR spinoff will be called Assassin's Creed Nexus and will bring back several characters from previous installments. VR players would slip into the roles of Ezio, Cassandra, Connor, and Hatham in various levels. Nexus should bring everything you'd expect from an Assassin's Creed: sneaking, pickpocketing, lockpicking, fighting, climbing, and the fabulous leap of faith, which Henderson says is particularly well done. Dropping from a building into a haystack with your arms outstretched is a really cool experience, wrote Henderson, who says he's tried the VR game for himself. Assassin's Creed VR spinoff was announced along with a Splinter Cell project in the fall of 2020. Both titles are contract work and were to be released exclusively for MetaQuest. In July, it was announced that Ubisoft had canceled development on Splinter Cell VR. Now, Henderson has news about Assassin's Creed Nexus. You know what time it is, Roots?
Quote time.
It is quote time. It's been a while since we did a quote.
It is, but it's been so long I forgot almost.
Quote, however, in recent weeks, Insider Gaming understands that the... Why is this in quotes? Okay, yeah, okay, so this is a quote. However, in recent weeks, Insider Gaming understands that the deal has apparently been terminated amid the ongoing budget cuts at Meta. It's understood that Ubisoft can now publish the game across any VR platform it desires, but it likely won't due to the deal being cut well into the game's development cycle. All right, so this is interesting, Rich, because I didn't ever think about this. When we heard that Splinter Cell got canceled, we always just assumed that it was Ubisoft cutting budget, which was a little bit weird because, not that Ubisoft doesn't cut games. They do it all the time. They just cut a bunch of them recently. But Ubisoft has always been on the forefront of VR development. They've always been putting forth VR games. They've got nearly 10 of them out already. And it was kind of weird for us to see Ubisoft kind of pulling back for the first time from VR development. Well, as it's stated here, apparently it wasn't Ubisoft that pulled back. It was Meta, and it was late in the development cycle, and according to this, apparently so late that it would be difficult for them to take the game to another platform now. You know, you develop around Quest, you make certain concessions. Now you're going to try to take that Quest port to PC or PlayStation, and you know, who typically don't want Quest ports. So this is very interesting. I had never even thought about this.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, you know, like if that's the consensus, then how excited should I be about a Quest version of it? If it's, you know what I mean? Like if it's dumbed down to that, and I'm not saying it is, because like Wolvie said, he was excited and he thought, yeah, I thought this was going to be something new. Just wanted to see some gameplay bad. Me too. I'd love to see something outside of that leak from like Onikazi says, you know, welcome to, what did he say? Something about the past, you know, the blast from the past. Yeah. From last April. Right. So we've known that there was that leak, but I guess now this is a little bit more confirming that it's still coming, right? For the Quest 3.
Yep. That's right. Oh, that's the speculation. Insider Gaming goes on to say that Ubisoft is expecting a big hit and that they are already discussing a sequel internally. Understandably, it's still the early days, but this would imply that Ubisoft aims to release the sequel across multiple VR headsets in the future. Insider Gaming doesn't mention any devices, but a good possibility would be PlayStation VR 2. The first part is expected to be revealed in June. Assassin's Creed Nexus will be released in September 2023. MetaQuest 3 should be released in the same time frame. A VR spin-off from the Powerhouse gaming brand could help boost sales of the headset if it's also a quality title. So this kind of just echoes what we've been speculating for a while. You know, where did all the meta games go? Why hasn't Quest 2 had a big budget release on it over the last year? We kind of speculated that they might be holding those back so that they have some big guns to pull out when Quest 3 launches. This just seems to confirm what we were already suspecting.
Yeah, besides the fact, same thing we saw with the PlayStation VR 1. A lot of devs would rather come out on the PlayStation VR 2 as well. And I would imagine that if there's some games out there that are like in that window, they'd say, well, let's wait a little bit and we'll come out when the Quest 3 is out. And not only can we, benefit from a new headset, but we can also make the game better, right? Because you're going to be able to have that much more headroom, the power, whatever else, features it has. So
Matty Fat Batcat in the chat says, I really hope Splinter Cell comes to PSVR too. If that happens, it'll probably be a while. There's a lot of meta money in this game. So that means that at the very least, it would be tied up for a year, which is okay because, I mean, if it's coming to PSVR 2, we're not going to want a straight port anyway. We're going to want them to take a year and make it something special, like we've seen with so many other ports that are coming, getting a completely revamped version with new features and new content. So yeah, I could see that.
do you think this game is going to be even close to any of the other Assassin's Creed's game in a VR mod, and like you know what I mean? Like that's the thing is these experiences that they've been curating for these headsets are going to be standing up against the real thing pretty soon here. Maybe not on the PlayStation VR 2, but on the PC. And just like
here's the thing.
Eric was saying, compared to Half-Life Alyx, Half-Life 2 gameplay is just so much deeper and better. So.
Well, I think the gameplay will be great. Obviously, there's something to be said for having a game that's built with VR in mind. The one question I really have with it is campaign, because from what we've heard about this Assassin's Creed game, even though it's supposedly very well done and super fun to play, I do think that it's like the structure of it's like episodic. So you play this chapter as this character, then you go to a completely unrelated chapter as another character, and that's kind of how it's structured. You just have a number of levels to choose from and play through instead of one big cohesive story campaign like we've always seen from Assassin's Creed in the past. Now, again, this is all rumor and speculation. We could be completely off base about it, but that's really my only concern with it. I think the gameplay will be fun. I'm not so sure that they're going to have a cohesive story campaign, which, as you know, is something that I prefer.
Well, and it's what we love about those games. I mean, I've never played Assassin's Creed, but like you're expecting me to love this game that's based on a game that's not going to be like, you know what I mean? Even though you're in that world, but I keep saying this, being in the world's not enough for me anymore. I want to go into these elaborate worlds and have things to progress and do and just feel like, man, this is amazing versus, this is, I now I get to see what Assassin's Creed world looks like, and I can climb a ladder and I can, like, I'm just hoping that it's deeper than what it sounds like. But again, this is a rumor and we have no idea. So
let me tell you this, Roots. Sure, playing Assassin's Creed on console might give you this super deep gameplay loop with high-end graphics and a beautiful story. But playing Assassin's Creed on Quest 3, you'll be able to see your living room while you play.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, well, that's all that matters.
That is all that matters. I mean, you'll know it when your cat or your child enters your play space. Isn't that important? You don't want to hurt children, do you, Roots?
No, I definitely do not want to hurt children or cats.
Anyway, I wanted to highlight this story because we weren't sure, man. When we saw the head start rolling at Ubisoft, we thought this might be next on the chopping block. I'm super happy to learn that is not the case, that this is a game that we're going to get when we get hopefully right around the time that we get the next gen Oculus Quest. Oculus. I still call it Oculus Roots. That's what it is.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I open up my PCVR thing, it says Oculus on it. So
good point. I read a article today that said that they're going to they're going to stop supporting the Rift Store soon, but that they're going to open up a new PCVR store that doesn't support Rift. It's just for like for Link, the Link store, like we said that they were going to change it to all those years ago. Looks like they're opening a new store, which kind of sucks for those who still play on Rift. But it's kind of cool to think that maybe Oculus might put some resources into PCVR gaming again.
Yeah, well, I think they definitely will. I think between cloud gaming and I mean, there's different things have shifted even just in the last couple of years that we've been talking about, or a few years we've been talking about VR and just the mindset. And so I think that they've realized that they can't be completely done with gaming yet, and that there's value in it. And I do agree with Odin though. Lack of eye tracking on the Quest 3 is an indication that gaming performance is not Meta's main concern. I mean, obviously they want the games to run well, but that would have been a no-brainer thing to me, especially with. And this is the thing: the way that Mash and Todd raved about being able to see each other's fucking eyes moving when they were talking to each other. You would think, and I'm not knocking them because that's a big feature, and if it's that big to wow them, you would think Meta would realize that like that's the whole package. If it's going to increase people in when you're talking to an avatar and make you feel like you're really there with them, and then also you got foveated rendering, you've got all these things. I just think I'm still shocked that it's not in there, so hopefully they'll change it.
I don't think so. I don't think they're going to, because they recently come out and pretty much said that they're not going to do that. Hopefully that's not true, but time will tell.
Well, if they're saying it, that's probably true. So, bummer.
Anyway, let's quit speculating about stuff that's coming at the end of the year and talk about something that's coming a little sooner. Mixture releases February 23rd for Quest 2. Mixture, an upcoming action-adventure platformer, will release on the Quest platform on February 23rd. The game was announced in the second half of last year, with the confirmed 2023 releases for both Quest and PSVR 2. And while the PSVR 2 release date is still to be confirmed, we now know that you'll be able to get to playing Mixture on Quest 2 and Quest Pro in just under 2 weeks. Developed by Polish studio Played with Fire, Mixture sees you control 2 characters through a Moss-inspired fantasy platformer. There's Sola, a small moth knight who you'll navigate around the game's environments, and then Sephiroth, the master alchemist who you'll simultaneously embody at room scale. Upload VR was able to go hands-on with Mixture last year at Gamescom. And I'm not going to read through their excerpt here. We've talked about Mixture before, saying that it looks pretty cool. It's obviously very Moss inspired, but very different from Moss in terms of gameplay, where Moss is kind of this story-driven puzzle game. This is the main gameplay mechanics of this game are pretty much that of a hack and slash brawler. It's a button masher, Roots.
Yeah, it definitely looks pretty cool. And like I was telling you during the trailer, man, that guy running around with a sickle, it's amazing. I like it.
Yeah, and giant snakes and dragons. I mean, who doesn't love that?
Yeah, that's true.
No, we've been excited to try this one out for some time. We had no idea when it was coming, and this one's kind of fell under the radar and has snuck up on us as this one coming out during the latter half of next week. And yeah, it's good. It's good and it's bad. The bad thing is that this is coming out on February 23rd, which is the day after something else notable happened. So it might get overshadowed a little bit in the VR media.
Aren't you going to vacation during that time? That's what
Yeah,
that's what's
right.
going
I'll
on,
be
right?
in Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas.
The good news is that all of the depression that the Quest players are feeling as they watch the Sony gamers have all these new games to play, they'll get to cry in their beer a little bit, but still have something to play because they'll have mixture.
Yeah, absolutely. That looks pretty cool. Man, who doesn't love self co-op? Actually, you know who does love self co-op?
My mom!
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, so yeah, well, I mean, I was about to give some info out about this game, but I don't know what I'm allowed to say about it when I'm not. Definitely a very cool game. Definitely something we've been looking forward to for quite some time. Excited to learn that it's coming to Quest 2 platform, Quest Pro apparently in the very near future. And yeah, keep your eyes peeled.
Hussein X says, I have quite a few high-end games on the Rift that I'm avoiding playing until I get a 3080 equivalent GPU to push the graphics. You know what game? Actually, not which game, but I guess there is a game that just came out that would need a graphics card like that, right? One that we're about to talk about.
Well, what the bat?
Yeah, what the bat for sure. I mean, I would imagine there's probably some kind of particles you can turn up, or ray tracing. Need that 3080. But no, I was talking about a flat game that just came out that people are working on.
There's a new flat game out?
Yeah, there's a new flat game out.
Tell me more.
In light of your unique situation, joining us as a fifth year, we've devised something extraordinary to ensure your success. A lot to absorb on your first day.
Can't believe I'm here.
Professor Weasley has asked that your professors give you instruction outside of the ordinary curriculum.
You have much to learn.
You have the benefit of an exceptionally skilled team of witches and wizards to guide you.
A surprised opponent is a weak opponent.
They will test your abilities, both innate and learned.
You've done it! I am wary of how much time the new fifth year seems to be spending away from the castle.
No need for theatrics. I'm only here for this one anyway.
What do they want with a Hogwarts student?
I have a rare ability to see whispers of ancient magic.
Extraordinary.
It's a powerful magic that should only be wielded by a select few.
The path we're on is terribly dangerous. But I do not know where it leads. I'm afraid you're on your own. I've ensured that we have a moment to ourselves.
Let's even her odds, shall we?
We leave our legacy in your hands.
Hogwarts Legacy from Portkey Games dropped some 2 days ago. Roots with a VR mod available from Luke Ross on day one. Do you think Luke Ross saw that that poll that Prey Dog put out the other day?
Yeah, so this is what I thought was interesting. I thought, okay, so here's Luke Ross. He's trying to do the same thing, and he wants to make these mods. He's planning on putting out a mod for Hogwarts Legacy. Everybody knows how big the game is. And then all of a sudden, Prey Dog comes out and says, dude, I got this mod, and and shows gameplay, and like really captivated people. It got very big very quickly, right? And Luke Ross was like, oh yeah, well, fuck you, man. I'll put it out now. and dropped it, because he doesn't usually do that. Usually he'll work on it for a bit, because
you know what it reminds me of, Roots? Do you remember the old Rice Krispie Treats commercial where the mom goes into the kitchen and spends 10 minutes making something and then throws flour all over her face and acts like she's been slaving in the kitchen all day? I think that Luke Ross might have a little flour on his face here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, it's definitely, I was psyched when I saw that it was in existence, and I immediately went in and started playing. I know Maddie Fat Bat Cat, did I say that right? Yeah, Fat Bat Cat was asking what it's like. I played 2 or 3 hours flat, streamed it, and it was cool. And then I've played another 13 or 14 hours so far in VR, and it's way better. Our 16, 17 hours in. I feel like I'm partially still scratching the surface, still trying to go to class. But it's not only the fact that you're in Harry Potter, but this game, the gameplay is fun. The wand play is amazing as far as the fighting. And they say if you put it on hard mode, it's actually, I think this isn't true, but close to Elden Ring difficulty, but it's definitely going to be more hard. But it reminded me a lot of Elden Ring. You're roaming around, you're exploring, you're finding caverns, it's just constantly sending you places on these missions, which a good game should do. And it's constant upgrading, and you've got this skill tree and these different skills that affect either your stealth or your wand play, making your already cool spells even more powerful. But you only get so many levels, so many points, and so you kind of have to really decide what you want to do with everything to build yourself your way. How you want to build, what spells are important to you, and the dialogue seems to actually make a difference as far as you have choices on what you can make say and how you can take the story. So I'm not saying you're going to have a completely different ending, but I'm enjoying it so far. Definitely really good. But Wired did say it was 1 out of 10, Mepper said, so maybe I should rethink my thoughts.
Garbage.
And not go along with the 95% of people that said that it was good. But we live in that world where Rotten Tomatoes comes out and says a movie's 100%, and 10% of people say it was good. Everybody else says it was garbage. We know that there's these Wired magazine is bullshit. Like they come out and they say what they say. It does not reflect real people. And that's like most of the bullshit that we see in the world right now is like, this is what they say is true, and this is what's actually true. And clearly this game is very well received by almost everybody. And most people don't even know that, like I said before, talking to random people all day long, most people don't even know there's a controversy around it. And even though they act like it's the biggest controversy ever, most people aren't even aware it's a thing, because it's really not. So.
Exactly, because it's really not. You know what I like about a game like this, Roots, is typically games are limited in the amount of new gameplay mechanics that they can implement over the course of the game, because they don't want to keep people in tutorials throughout the entire game. But when you have a game like this, where your home base that you're coming back to time and time again is Hogwarts, it's a school, they have a reason to keep adding new gameplay mechanics into the game, because you're going to learn new tricks from your classes. I think that's kind of ingenious.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you'll go to your class, you'll learn something, then they send you away to do something else, and you come back, and then they teach you the spell, and then you go and you use it in real time. It's just a really good gameplay loop. It's fun and it keeps you in the game.
I think we could see if a first-person mod for this one after the Prey Dog mod comes out. Obviously, Luke Ross has beaten the Universal VR injector to the punch here. But the kind of the caveat with what Prey Dog does is that sometimes they go a little further. Sometimes they implement first person with motion controls. And I got to think, seeing how that kind of wand action works, that it would be even better if you could just do it with your own hand.
It's absolutely going to be first person with your full motion controls. I mean, for one, I think the video from the Unreal Engine, you can see it looks like a lot of it is first person as far as it looks like it. At least has an option for it. But there's no reason why the wand gameplay couldn't be pointing and aiming, and I think it would be better. Like right now, the Luke Ross mod is in third person, which is amazing as it is. My only gripe with it, because it was rushed out, was a couple gripes. One, once you transfer to certain scenes, it resets everything, like the graphics, the resolution change that you changed, and then it, which is not that big of a problem if you're not streaming, but it causes problems with the stream. It kind of made things weird when it would do it, and then also, all of a sudden, I would look over at chat and people would be like, "Hey, it's a black screen." Well, when it reset the resolution, that enable OBS button is also reset, and so all of a sudden now I'm streaming a black stream. But it was rushed out, so he will fix that. But I think it will be better I think the Unreal Engine mod will be better. I think it will be first person, and I predict it'll be full motion control as well.
Nice, bro. Tiffany's in the chat. She says hello, first of all, and she also says that she loves the truth with Roots moments. We all love that. That's why Roots is here. One of the reasons.
I love the Roots truth with Roots moments as well. But yeah, no. So that's the thing is I think it's amazing. It's definitely worth playing through. Even flat, like Ryan Brandon was saying, well, maybe Wired played it flat. I don't care if they played it flat or not. The game is really good. The only thing that I would say, it's a story-based game, so it has its campy music and it's got its points where you're going through the story and it's like, but it's the overarching story, the exploration, the fighting. It's not like, I mean, you're just running into random enemies of all sorts, and you get really good with your wand and the different spells and what each one does, and it's just really good.
Yeah, so I look forward to jumping into this one. We did pick this title up a couple of days ago, courtesy of all of our supporters from Patreon and from the YouTube donations. We picked a copy up, and I'm happy to announce that this will be one of the titles that we're talking about this Wednesday on Strangers in the Night. I'm going to get in here and check this thing out for myself. Now, I don't know that I'm going to be able to put 24 hours into it like Roots has, but I think we should be able to get enough time in there to get a good idea what's going on here.
Yeah, you'll get at least a few hours in there, and I think you'll be pleasantly. I think some of the coolest points that I've had so much is just jumping on my broom, and it's a mount. You get outside and you can jump on your thing, and now you can fly wherever you want to go and not have to run on the road and run into enemies or whatever. And I'm waiting for my hippogriff. I did meet one, and now I'm friends with it. So hopefully that'll somehow unlock my free one I got for buying the early edition. So, but yeah, it's definitely going to be. Definitely, I think you'll like it. So,
I think I will too. How many times have we talked about that we need Harry Potter in VR? Like, we probably talk more about that than any other potential game that we haven't gotten yet. So, I very much look forward to it, and for what it's worth, I'm happy that Luke Ross decided to undercut Prey Dog on this one. And but you can see who kind of the support's going behind. Like, we're looking at a Reddit post here because I couldn't find an article about the Luke Ross mod. Like, there were articles that came out over the last couple of days about Harry Potter coming to VR through modding. They were all about the Prey Dog mod. There wasn't a single article about the Luke Ross mod.
That's kind of crazy. But I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's like, I think it was Ryan Brandon was saying that, or somebody was saying that maybe it wasn't Ryan, in the chat, that they were going to wait for the Prey Dog one because it's not hidden behind a paywall. And that really bothers a lot of people. And understandably, I don't have just money to throw around either. But to me, it was worth $10 to be able to play it in VR immediately. And it's just like we've said, and every game that's amazing, VR is not magic. If a game sucks, it's going to suck in VR too, maybe just a little bit less or maybe worse if depending on the game. But if a game is really good, it's going to be amazing in VR. And this game is one of those ones, just running around, roaming around the castle in third person. I will say, I don't even care if it's in first person or not. It adds so much to it, and you are there. You're everywhere you look. You're in the castle, and you're roaming around. You're getting to go through the for me Gryffindor common room, but you could be Slytherin if you want. If you want to be evil, it's up to you. I choose not to be. I don't know. What are you gonna do, Wes, if they pick you Slytherin? You're just gonna go with it, right?
I'll be all right if I'm a Gryffindor or a Slytherin. Just as long as I'm not a stupid fucking Hufflepuff, I'll be all right.
That is kind of a weird name, right?
Yeah. Shit, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, I remember what I was going to say. I kind of get the sentiment of people who saying that they're going to wait on the free Prey Dog mod, because as I alluded to earlier, Luke Ross kind of outed himself with this one. Because he always takes his time and leaves some space between the releases. He's always, coming out of the kitchen with flour on his face and charging people $10 for all that hard work he's been putting in. But he kind of exposed himself here and showed that he could get this shit together pretty quick if he really needs to.
Yeah.
And I kind of get people not wanting to.
But to be fair, if he would have taken Unreal Engine's approach, it would have rolled out perfect and done, and because there are issues with it, like just the issues that I said, it's not as perfect as it should be. He's just I'm hoping he updates it. I keep checking every day just because it's a quality of life thing.
Right.
Oh, there is a new one out, 4.2.
There we go.
Let's see what got updated. The software cursor provided by the game can now be moved to all positions of the virtual screen with the gamepad stick.
It's gamepad? Screw that.
Yeah, no, never mind. It's garbage. What do you mean third person? Are you kidding me? Oh, you guys are getting to see my Hogwarts Legacy. I didn't even realize that. Okay, thank God I wasn't pulling something else up. But yeah, so this is it. This is how his thing works. But yeah, it's he's constantly working on it, so that's good.
Hello, Andreas Crossing. Welcome to the chat. Roots Tiffany says you have the wizard beard. Any chance you're gonna show up on Wednesday night in a full Dumbledore?
I thought about somehow, when I was gonna stream the thing originally, I was thought about going to they have those AIs that'll draw something, right? And putting on my picture of me and saying Dumbledore or something. They could probably make something real quick.
Yeah, and then you could slap that on a mug and we'd have a special edition.
There you go. Percy AI. And people say AI is evil.
I'd put that on a t-shirt, Roots. You make that picture, we'll put it on a t-shirt.
That would be cool.
Wizard Roots.
Wizard Roots. Remember Wizard Game Cat Roots? That was cool too.
Anyway, so we're going to be talking much more about this again on Wednesday night, so we don't want to get too far along into what you really have here and how it really runs, because we're all going to play it. I'm going to play it. Roots has already played it. Eric's going to play it, and we're going to meet back here in a few days' time and talk about it. And in a few moments, Roots, we'll talk about what else we have going on Wednesday. I've ventured to say that might be the second coolest segment that we have going on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We got a good episode lined up.
Wednesday is going to be good, and preparing for Wednesday is going to be good.
Absolutely. But anyway, that's going to wrap up our headlines this week and get us into the week's reminders. And we're going to start the reminders off the way we typically do by looking at what's out this week. And as it turns out, Roots, there are some new VR games out this week. There's a new PlayStation VR game out this week.
Get him! It's a torpedo! Finish
Why are you teaching me a high level of violence?
This is your new protocol. Find me. Okay, then let's shoot faster and with both hands.
Ah, come on, motherfucker, remember!
Done. Looks like that's all. Now it's your turn.
Desperate Vladivostok is coming to PlayStation VR this Tuesday, Valentine's Day, February 14th. Roots, we played this game on, I think on Steam, maybe even on Quest. Not a bad game. They obviously didn't reinvent the wheel here. This is a scene-based wave shooter. But for what it lacks in originality, it makes up for with style points. It's got awesome music. It's got a cool overall attitude and vibe, and 50 levels in the main the main gameplay mode of the game. But in addition to that, you also get 3 arena levels as well. A lot of game here.
Yeah, that's a lot of game. It's actually, yeah, and it's fun. It's something. It's one of those one more type of games, and I'm just looking at the gameplay on this little loop there, and he's flipping them off. But no, it's definitely fun.
You think you can flip people off with move controllers, Roots?
I don't think so. I'd have to be fancy with the index controllers, although they won't last long. You can still flip people off. You just won't be able to use joysticks.
It's the old California howdy.
Yeah, that still cracks me up. That the one thing that I was so jealous about with the index controllers to begin with, and it's the one thing that turned out to be the worst thing about them in general.
Got VR Legs says PSVR 2 better not get this. No, it absolutely is scheduled to come to PSVR 2. No launch date on that. But it is kind of funny here, Roots, to see this game launching on PSVR 1 in the 11th hour. I hope it's ready. I hope this isn't just a case of them doing a Luke Ross and like, we have to get it out there now because nobody's going to give a shit next week.
Yeah, it better be ready because you got a small window of players to buy this, man. I was saying, if you could put this out 3-6 months ago when there was nothing out, I'd be like, damn, man, I got to get this game. This is it. And yeah, but we got to remember too, not everybody's getting a PSVR 2. That has a PSVR 1. So there's still going to be people that are left behind that are still going to need games. So
no, they've got one more here. And for what it's worth, it's pretty fun to play. Yeah. It is stationary. It's a stationary wave shooter. There's no locomotion in the game. The scenes all kind of play out in front of you, but it has some unique mechanics. And again, it's got attitude for days. So it's pretty cool.
Yep. It's a Valentine's Day treat. Right here for you.
There you go. Happy Valentine's Day, baby. Everyone should go buy this for their girlfriend.
This is going to have a physical release, bro. Are you going to get the physical copy?
You know who else is going to have a physical release on Valentine's Day?
My mom!
Yeah. She always has a physical release, though. Nothing special.
Never fear, Quest gamers. You're not being left out of the fun this week either. Actually, something really cool coming to Quest this week.
doesn't sound good.
The long-awaited Drop Dead The Cabin coming to MetaQuest 2 this coming Thursday, February 16th. You can pre-order the title now. Roots, it's co-op. It's zombie shooting action. Sign me up, bro. I'm down for this one.
Yeah, and you can, I mean, according to the trailer, you can play in the same room with somebody and still have it not be an issue, or is that just
I think that's just them
commercial?
taking some liberties to make a cool commercial. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be misleading. You'd be like, honey, let's get this. And they get in there and they're like bumping into each other or something.
Anyway, this isn't unlike the original Drop Dead. This is this game is developed around cooperation, and I don't just mean cooperation with shooting the zombies. There are various other tasks that you have to work through as a team and able to survive the night and escape the cabin. This is one we've been looking forward to for quite some time. We thought we might get it around Halloween last year. But you know, the developers did the right thing here. They held on to the game until it was ready, and apparently it's ready. And I've actually had this one for a little while. I've kind of been waiting to the right time to play it. I think it might be the right time to play it, Roots.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Wolvie says he's been waiting on this one. It's almost as excited about this as Gambit. So we definitely need to get in there and give him our opinions on it. It looks good. Looks like the action is actually the thing. I want to go in and play zombies shooters that zombies are coming at me and they're fast. They're not slowly working their way across the screen. You know, I think it was, who was it that was telling me that they played the Left 4 Dead 2 mod recently and how good it was? I think it was MASH. And he was saying that, you know, we need to get in there. And I was saying that, yeah, I feel like that was one of the things that After the Fall missed, is like part of that game is you go through areas where there's no way you're killing every zombie. So many zombies are coming. You're just trying to stay alive and get from point A to point B. And that's a big part of what, you know, Back 4 Blood or Left 4 Dead is and what After the Fall is trying to be. And I feel like that was something that they kind of missed the point, that they should have had that in there as well, and shouldn't always be about killing every single zombie in the place. And this one, I mean, it just looks like chaos and craziness. So,
yeah, agreed. Looper the Game Cat, the Underground Game Cat says you're going to love how the infected rush at you in The Last of Us, and that's true. There are certain ones that are just tenacious, rabid.
Yeah, I need to check that out. And the whole premise of that story sounds intriguing to me, almost like real life intriguing. You know, like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway, Drop Dead The Cabin again launches next Thursday. Be sure to keep an eye out. We're probably going to cover this one next week, I would imagine, in spite of everything else that's happening on that day. We're going to need something to play in the interim, Roots, and I think that this is the perfect candidate.
Absolutely.
And that's going to wrap up what's out this week. You know, if anything were to, nothing's coming to PC, nothing's coming to Steam. If anything ever were to come, though, I don't think we would know it because they changed the way that the Steam store works now, and everything just says coming soon on it now. Nothing has a date on it. Like, it's terrible. So I think we're just going to have to take PC releases in real time as they drop.
What happened in the last couple of years to where all of a sudden all of these websites just decided to we don't need to give you the pertinent information, and we're just going to give you like half of it, and there's going to be no semblance or no order to it. Everything's going to be like the PlayStation website used to be really good too, right? And then all of a sudden it got weird, and I just feel like something weird's happening, man. I think I blame it all on the China balloons from China that are floating.
I'm blaming on the President of the United States.
Yeah, why not?
It's always his fault.
It's always his fault. No matter
And it
who's
doesn't
in
matter.
charge.
That's right. It doesn't matter who the president is. It's always the president's fault.
That's right.
Could you imagine having that worldview?
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Anyway, that brings us to our next reminder. This is the section of the show, the segment, if you will, where we ask all of you to join us in taking just a moment of your time and a couple of your clicks to support a game by wishlisting it. Could be one of these awesome games we talked about today or any other game that you're interested in, but it's a big deal to the developers out there. It helps them to raise their profile on the various storefronts, and that's the reason why they always ask people to please wishlist their game. And this week, I think I'm going to wishlist. Man, I don't know. There's a couple good ones.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Having trouble finding it.
It's on. You have to search for it by name, but it is on the store. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Pretty sure I've searched for it already here. Browse all games. Well, if you're going to do a mixture, I'm going to do Drop Dead. How about that?
That works. Yeah, I found it. It says coming soon. I can't do it. There's no wish list. I don't think there is. There a wish list?
Let me see. It would
It
be.
doesn't look like it. There's 3 ratings for it already, though.
It won't let me wish list Drop Dead the Cabin either because it's
Hey, you know who needs wish list? Never mind. You know what? I'm starting to think developers don't give a crap about them. Apparently, you would think, right?
Well, the reason why it wouldn't let me is because I already have the game, so you know that's I guess fair.
You know, Secrets of has a good point. It says off topic, but when Roswell happened, they said the UFO was a weather balloon. Now they're saying the weather balloons are UFOs. Yeah, it's a complete reversal. I still think it's weird that the military goes from deny to one day just flat out, let's just tell everything to every person that ever had an encounter needs to be on the news talking about it. It seems very scripted and weird to me. But I live in that world.
You know what I'm going to wish list? I know what I'm going to wish list.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. The wish listing, it does help devs, but I'm just being facetious. But it's weird. It's like the ones that you would think, like especially one that's coming out February 23rd. Like, why can't I wish list that? You know what I mean? That's kind of a problem. They need to get that fixed. If it's as big as it is, as you say it is, which I believe you.
It's good. I love it when people believe me when I say how big it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I am adding Resist on Steam to my wish list. This game is out now. It came out in December. The PC version of Resist. By the way, I think it might even be on the Rift store with cross-buy. So all the people that bought it on Quest, I think, and let me verify this. I'm pretty sure you can get it. Get the PC version for free on Rift. Let's see here. It's a good game.
Yeah, for sure. And Awesome Tatum says they wish listed Barbaria on Quest 2 if that counts. That absolutely counts.
Yep, absolutely. Big deal for them. That just came out last week, Barbaria, and apparently pretty solid game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Resist is, in fact, a cross-buy title. So if you bought it on Quest and you want to try the upgraded version out, you absolutely can for free.
Nice.
I just completely closed out my show notes, I think.
Oh. Well, good thing we're down to the wire here.
So our next reminder, we're going to talk again about what we're planning for Wednesday. Obviously, we've got a awesome episode lined up as we're going to be talking about the Luke Ross mod for Hogwarts Legacy, but that's just going to be the icing on the cake. The cake itself is going to be delicious, though, Roots, as we're going to be doing a real-time review of the game that you can see on screen right here, The Light Brigade. But this game, you know, I've raved about it. Our friends, GT, Beardo, Benjo, they've all raved about it. People know that this is a solid game. We're going to be playing it live in a podcast discussion / hybrid format, as we typically do these days. But this one's going to be extra cool because we're going to have Funktronic Labs founder and the lead developer of this game joining us on commentary. So I'm going to be playing the game. You guys are going to be there like always talking over it, but we're also going to have the lead developer of the game there with us as well, talking over it and fielding questions from the chat. It's going to be an awesome show. We're going to kick off the show off the top with the real-time review with this segment. So you guys are going to make sure you be there, have your questions ready. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I blame Hogwarts Legacy, ironically, for not really getting a check to check this out yet. So
yeah, well, you're going to dig it, man. It's addictive. It's got that same kind of a addictive nature that a game like In Death Unchained has, but there's a lot of stuff it does that a game like that doesn't do. A lot of variety in the gameplay. Well, in the gameplay progression, I guess I should say.
And it's guns instead of bow and arrow.
And it's guns and magic too. Magic guns. You know, the beautiful thing about this game is it blends realism and fantasy in such a perfect way. Like the guns are real guns, like real guns that you can buy in real life. They have realistic reload mechanics, and they look and sound pretty good from a realism standpoint. But then you can augment them with magic artifacts and things to give them special abilities, which is just awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. I can't wait to
When
check it out.
Akazi says, is the Light Brigade out yet? I thought it was not out. It is not out. It doesn't come out for about 10 more days. That's why our episode's going to be so freaking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to be rubbing elbows with a developer. It's going to be cool.
Yeah. Playing it in real time a week ahead of launch. So pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
But like you said, everybody is raving about this game. And
myself included. Eric loves it too. Eric loves it too. It's really good.
I want to find out why.
Beggars K is correct. Planned release date 22nd February 2023, some 1 week to the day after our episode. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And they're smart. They're getting out there, man. They know what's coming on February 22nd. They know if they want people to buy their game, they're going to have to convince people to pre-order it. So they're putting it out there, and I think it's a good strategy.
Yeah, well, and you know, how many big titles or games that we wanted to play on day one aren't going to be there because for whatever reason, and now you've got something to replace any one of them with this game, right? And it looks like it's going to be a really good game to pre-order.
Duggar's K says buy on PSVR, PCVR. Well, that'll be a good thing to bring up with the developer. We'll be able to ask them what kind of next gen features, if any, this game is going to have on PlayStation VR. But the short answer is, of course, you're going to buy it on PSVR 2 because PSVR 2 is at least 10% better than PCVR.
Right, at least. You know, that's already proven fact. Right?
Yeah, proven. That's fact.
Yeah.
It's
that's
known.
the fact, Jack.
It is known.
Right?
All right. Anyway, the moral of the story is if you haven't already, subscribe, click the bell so that you can be notified when we go live. We're going to try to stick to a pretty strict schedule this week as we have guests coming in and we don't want to waste their time. So we'll be live at 12:30 a.m. Eastern time, late Wednesday, early Thursday. Don't miss it.
It's a 15% off pre-order, Mind Jive says they think, and Space Denson says, should I just pre-order it already? Tax-free at the moment.
Yes. You should pre-order it. I assure you it's very good.
And let's be honest, none of us want to support the government with taxes. After I see where my money goes every year, I'm not wanting to pay taxes more and more every year.
Yeah. Me too. They're thinking about reducing the income tax here in Kentucky. They say they want to eliminate it completely, which I don't believe them for a minute, but that's what they say.
Well, this is the thing. There's a lot of people, myself included, believes a flat tax would be a better solution, right, than an income tax. Tax people on what they spend. Problem is I think that thought would end up being double taxed. I think we'd end up having both. Is where I see it going. But that's just my personal opinion.
Well, what they're actually planning on doing is what or what they say they're planning on doing is what I've always kind of advocated for, is no income tax, higher sales tax, because the way that kind of works, if if your taxes are consumption based, then everyone pays their fair share because everyone lives within their means. Rich people buy more, so they pay more. Right?
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Besides the fact, income tax, we get taxed. I believe that the amount that the United States was started tax wise, that people freaked out is like so minuscule to where we're getting bent over now. It's like crazy.
Hussein X said Brian should have got a PSVR 2 hand delivered by the CEO. He deserves it more than anyone.
I think
Here,
so.
here.
I think is he not getting a he got one early, right?
No, he didn't. We can't even get a contact, man. We've been like actively
man.
pursuing this for a while. I'm going to go get in their face in San Francisco, I think. I'm going to go give them some shit.
His channel.
Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?
That channel is bigger than most of the channels out there that I've seen have their headsets, and he's exclusively PlayStation. That baffles me.
Tiffany says rich people would end up finding a way to buy another country and ship everything to that country to avoid taxes. They already have that country. It's called Mexico.
Right. Yeah, that happens. That happens a lot too. I don't know what the perfect answer is. I just know that our current system right now is broke in so many ways, and
indeed,
it's just crazy.
Anyway, on that note, we have come to our final reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can support us, our channel, and our community. Of course, the most important thing you can do, click that thumbs up, click the red thing, click the bell. 3 clicks, that's all we ask, and it makes the world of difference. And I got to shout everyone out. Everyone's been awesome lately with the spreading the word, with the clicking, with the subscribing. It's working. Our profile is raising. I can tell you from an analytical standpoint, we can see the needle moving. So keep it up, you guys. If you haven't already, please click the stuff. Please subscribe. Please click the notification bell. And again, it's a two-way street. You give us your clicks. We give you the awesome, unique content that you can't get anywhere else. It's a win-win.
Coast to coast. Reminds people
right.
of coast to coast. We're going to put that out there in advertising now.
Yeah, we never did get a straight answer on which coast to coast it was, did we?
Nah, I'll take either. I'll take it.
Yeah, all of them. Space Ghost Coast to Coast starring Art Bell. Hell yeah. Anyway, if you want to do a little something more, you can support us on Patreon, where for as little as $3 per month, you get our weekly show notes, you get insider updates, you get exclusive content, all for less than $1 per week, and you get to go to bed and sleep and rest well, knowing that you did your part to help us out here. And by the way, it's a big help. We're making big purchases lately, especially what's coming up this month. Probably going to completely clean out our savings with what we're doing with it this month. And
couldn't do it without you.
Exactly. I can honestly say we couldn't do some very important big things if it weren't for your support. So thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. Thank you to everyone who tipped here today. We'll get more into it as we progress through the weeks, but just take my word for it. What you're doing is huge, and it has came up in a big way for us here lately. So we can't thank you enough.
Absolutely.
But times are hard, Roots. Dollars aren't what they used to be. So we get it if people can't afford to support us in that way. And that's okay, because our doors are still open to you. And by doors, I mean the doors to our home, our Discord server. There is an invitation link down below. It is free to join us on Discord. This is where we hang out and share our enthusiasm for gaming and all things in life. You might even see the occasional police chase in there, Roots, what I hear.
I know. It's so crazy, man. They literally, there's police chases posted on there. And it's actually entertaining to see. And we just got earlier today, Not Sure Brondo. Brondo. Thank you for joining the Discord. I just saw that he was there. I don't want to gender you.
Thank you. and welcome. Thanks for joining the community, and we'll see you around. Anyway, it's free. All you gotta do is click the link down below. Someone will be at the door to greet you, I assure you.
Yep. Hopefully you have the magic password. I think for when you go to the Gryffindor picture, you gotta like tell them the password, and then she opens it. There's somebody at the door, and you gotta say the password to get in.
Okay, and for our community, the password is
My mom.
There you go, my mom. Yeah.
Or PSVR.
I was gonna jab the PC guys one more time, but I like yours better. All right, and I think that's our show, friends. Thanks for showing up, everyone. And with that said, we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.
Stay easy.